So yes, my name's Jules and I'm the Workplace Wellbeing Account Manager for Mine Cymru. My background is actually in sport and physical activity, and I finished my career in sport and physical activity when we started to look at links between the benefits of sport and physical activity on mental health. And I've brought that into my new role, but I've been working for Mind now for 2 years. On children and young people's programmes, educating young people about mental health. And we launched the Time to Change Wales Young Persons programme last year as well, again to educate young people in schools about mental health and really get it on the curriculum. But today I'm going to present to you about the current picture of mental health in workplaces across Wales, provide you with some tips on how to create a mentally healthy workplace for yourselves and others, and provide you with some information about products and services available to support this. So it's a bit of a sales pitch from me as well, I guess. And then Dr. Neil can tell me that there's no evidence based on that, on any of the products and services that we sell. But we'll chat about that later. And then I'm going to summarise on how you can play your part to support mental health within your organisation. Next slide.
Are you okay to just nod?
Yeah. So at Mind, our mission is simple. We're here to make sure anyone with a mental health problem has somewhere to turn for advice and support. And that includes support within employment. And we're aligned with the government's Wellbeing and Future Generations Act and in England, Thriving at Work Independent Review, which has been commissioned to make recommendations for employers to support mental health in the workplace. We spend a third of our lives at work. So it's important to try and make it a positive experience for our mental health and well-being. So we think mental health is everyone's business, and it's shown in these statistics. We all have mental health, as we know, like we all have physical health. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be poor, and both can affect each other. 1 in 4 of us will experience a mental health problem in any 1 year. So if it's not ourselves that has a mental health problem, we will most certainly know somebody that has. Mental health is indiscriminate and can affect any one of us and be triggered by any element in our lives outside and inside of work. And lastly, by 2020, the World Health Organization have said that depression will be the second most common cause of ill health worldwide. And when I started my career, when I was in physical activity and sport, it was that we were all going to suffer from musculoskeletal problems because we were sitting down and we were sedentary, and that's been overturned by mental health. So it's quite a bleak picture, but one that we all have to take responsibility to change. But still, people don't want to talk about mental health. It's, as you said, about a broken leg. If someone is off work because of a physical illness or a broken leg, we'll go and ask them how they are. But if someone's off with mental health problems, we really struggle to show that empathy and compassion when someone comes back because we don't know how to start that conversation. So it's still very much a hidden topic, and there's a culture of silence around mental health. We've seen recently a change in public attitudes and perceptions with sports people and MPs and the royal family talking about mental health and their own personal experience. So that's certainly helped. But there's still a lot of stigma around mental health, which feeds itself because we also self-stigmatise. And it can be a vicious circle because that continues to isolate us. So what's the current picture in workplaces across Wales? Next slide. I'm sure this looks familiar to all of you, but this is just a picture of Victorian workplaces. And, we are quite lucky in the fact that we don't work in such an oppressive society anymore. And we do have choice over the jobs and the roles we participate in and the purpose within our work lives. And I think that's the real job for us, to find a role within society, within work, that allows us to fulfill our purpose and, motivate us to get up every day to fulfill that purpose. Next slide. So I've stolen these slides from my colleagues at Time to Change Wales. And this really looks at the state of employment within Wales. And poor mental health costs the Welsh economy £7.2 billion a year. And that's the cost of health and social care, loss of output and human cost. 9 out of 10 employees with a mental health condition have or will experience discrimination because of their mental health in the workplace. And 1 in 6 workers in Wales experience mental health issues. I'm sure the statistics are higher than that now. But out of those, 35% of employees don't feel comfortable telling their line manager about their mental health. So we want to change that. Next slide. So Time to Change Wales is in its 6th year now. It's a national campaign to end stigma and discrimination across society, but we realise that employment is a big sector that we need to work with. So it's in phase 3 and it's been funded by the Welsh Government. Predominantly it was funded by health, but now the economy have got involved in their wisdom because of the loss of output. And the focus is now around men's mental health, rurality and the Welsh language. And in phase 2, we did look at the evidence base and we saw that attitudes were changing. There was a 5% positive shift in perceptions towards mental health. And believe it or not, people were willing to want to work with someone with a mental health problem, which is good. 113 employers so far have signed the Time to Change Wales pledge to take action to end stigma and discrimination. And those 113 employees represent about 260,000 employees across Wales, so that's about 1/6 of the workplace. And Karen's going to talk to you in her workshop about some of the support that we're going to continue to give employers over the next 3 years of the funding. So next, I'm going to talk to you about how to create a mentally healthy workplace. Our goal at Mind is to mainstream good mental health and make it core business to all employers. So we recommend a 3-pronged approach as best practice to develop a mental health strategy which will create an open and supportive working environment to support everyone, employees, employers and the bottom line. So firstly, we promote wellbeing for all staff. So this is looking at initiatives like the 5 Ways to Wellbeing, cultural shift in policies and practices that support good mental health and wellbeing. Secondly, tackle work-related causes of mental health problems, complete stress audits, provide flexible working conditions, regular breaks, reduction in working hours, etc. And thirdly, to support staff experience a mental health problem across the spectrum. And this is where your employee assistance programme comes into play, and introducing wellness action plans that support people to avoid absenteeism and support managed presenteeism of employees. And for this to be successful, senior leadership buy-in is key to create accountability across the whole of the organisation. So I'm going to talk now briefly about Mind's workplace wellbeing products and services which are available to support a mentally healthy workplace. So firstly, we have our Workplace Wellbeing Index, which is in its 3rd year. And this tool is currently the only benchmark which is dedicated to mental health in the UK. And it provides an audit of what you're currently doing within the organisation in terms of your policies and practices. And it looks at what can be improved. It's a building block, really, on the corporate health standards and Time to Change Wales. It supports both of those toolkits. And we provide you with a comprehensive policy review. And the audit is conducted with an employee assessment adjacent to a staff survey with a final report which robustly assesses where the gaps lie between your organisation's approach compared to your employees' perceptions of your mental health policy and practices, and what it's like to be on the receiving end of that. So organisations have 3 months to complete the survey, and once we receive the completed surveys, which is usually in December, so we're now opening the Workplace Wellbeing Index registration, and that will be completed from September to December. We'll collate the information and benchmark organisations against each other. You'll receive a comprehensive report of your workplace wellbeing and you're ranked against the assessment criteria. And these are bronze for achieving change, silver for achieving impact, and gold for achieving excellence. If you want to register for the Workplace Wellbeing Index, we've got a 10% discount at the moment, and so please come and see us at the stand. So these were the 8 Welsh employees that took part in the index last year. So we've got a good cross-section of public, private and third sector organisations. We want to increase that to 16 employees across Wales, because we want to make sure that you're doing and support you to make sure that you're doing the right things in terms of workplace wellbeing and your policies and practices. Next, we have some free resources, and we've got again some of these available for you to take away today. They're a pack of information which starts at an introduction to mentally healthy workplaces, how to take stock of mental health in your workplace. So again, the opportunity for you to see what you're doing well and what's missing. How to promote wellbeing and tackle the causes of work-related mental health, and how to support staff who are experiencing a mental health problem. And these resources are available as a hard copy, and also you can download them free online, and they're also bilingual. Oh dear, my fonts have gone wrong. So we also provide a comprehensive suite of training, and I think some of you in the room have bought some of the training products from Mind. So we start with mental health awareness, managing mental health at work, which is for line managers, which is our most popular course. And our most recent course is about emotional intelligence and resilience. And I'm not keen to use that word resilience, but I'll be interested. But I'm interested to have that conversation, because obviously, with the Donaldson report, resilience and capable future learners is very much apparent on that. So yeah, we'll have that conversation. We also link in with Blue Light Services team to support training for their staff, so call handlers specifically, around customer care and mental health. And I'm just going to share a short video with you now from Welsh Water. They're a Time to Change Wales pledged organisation, and they've also engaged in some of our training. And this video shows how they've been supported as an employee to support employees with mental health problems.
I've been with Cymru almost 7 years now, and during that time I've had one bad episode of depression. It just felt totally different to previous employers. It felt like I could talk about mental health, and not only I could talk about it, but when I did talk about it, people could empathise with what I was saying and they could offer support.
So I'm the Health and Safety Manager for Cymru Welsh Water, and I attended the Mind Awareness training along with the other managers in Welsh Water to enable us to have a culture where it is normal to talk about mental health and where we can support our colleagues. Tristan came to me because he was having some mental health problems and some issues, so we just basically went into the conversation mode. It was about normalising it with him, being able to be there and support him through his journey to getting better and getting back into work.
And through the training that she's had from Mind Cymru at Welsh Water, I think she was able to identify signs of perhaps when I wasn't doing too well. So she's called me and checked how I've been, and just had general conversations. So she was really supportive and continues to be.
So I found the Mind training really useful, and I know it has been for other managers as well. So it enables us to look out for those behavioural changes in our colleagues, and then have those conversations with them and support them if they are struggling with their mental health.
So hopefully you could hear that at the back, but that's just Welsh Water, an example of good practice in terms of normalising conversations around mental health, supporting employees and investing in training, which I appreciate can have a cost attached, but the benefits include increasing engagement, healthy workforces, a better working culture, And ultimately, it's the right thing to do. So, while we get my slides back, just quickly in summary, some reflections on what you can do to create a mentally healthy workplace. Okay, next slide. So normalise conversations around mental health and create opportunities for employees to talk and listen. Consider taking action with the Time to Change Wales pledge to end stigma and discrimination within your workplace. Complete an audit and take stock of the mental health policies and practices within your organisation and look at gaps in provision, including training. Use resources that are already out there and share good practice amongst yourselves. Create a cultural shift. This starts from the top. Cultural change doesn't happen overnight, it takes a while. But simply put, mental health is about diversity of our emotions. Like with any kind of diversity, we should be able to take our whole selves to work and be supported and accepted within that. So these are our contact details to find out more, but we've also got a stand here, so please come and have a chat with us. Thank you for listening.